Okay, hello Year 7. I hope you're all coping well at home, keeping busy, exercising. It's really good for your mental health, so make sure you're keeping busy, doing that exercise, making time for fun. This week, we've got a lesson on the Sahara, Term 6, Week 4, so it's almost nearly the summer holidays. The aims of this lesson, first of all, we're going to start by showing you how to log into Caboodle and access the resources. We'll also have a recap for the prior learning that we did for the previous lesson. And also, I'm going to introduce this week's lesson, set it up for you so you know what you're doing. So the resources required today are Caboodle textbook, and you'll also need the core worksheet, which is 10.3. This isn't making sense to you. Hopefully, the next few slides will help you to access this site we call Caboodle. So, accessing Caboodle. This is the web address in the top right-hand corner of the screen that you'll need to access Caboodle. Then you'll come up with this screen. You'll enter your username here. Now, your username is what you use for the school computers. So here's an example, e.g. 18 Smith J. Your password. Now, you should have changed your password to something you already know. If you haven't, then this will be the same as your username. So if you haven't yet logged into Caboodle, your password will be the same as your school's username, because the IT team at the school have set all this up for you. So our institution code for Sandwich Technology School is VU9. So that's the code we need to get in. Add all these details, and then you will be put onto the next screen. You'll be able to log in. So when you reset your password, you'll be asked your email address in order to reset your password. So use your school email. So you'll see this screen. The next few slides will have pointers on them. I don't need to explain this to you. You should already be accessing Caboodle. If you need to pause these in order to help you access it, then do so. So I'm going to go through these now. There won't be any audio, and you'll be able to figure all this out for yourself. Feel free to pause the video whenever you need to. This shows you how to find a textbook. Okay, so if we set you any assignments, you'll see notifications in the top right-hand corner. And you can see what the textbook looks like. It's the one we use in lessons. It's the one we always work from in lessons. Okay. Never use this bit that says users. You'll need the digital book so that you can read the textbook online. Your resources. This is where you'll find the worksheet. So this week it's 10.3. You will find that in the resources section under Caboodle. When we set you tests, you'll find the tests under the assessment section. So we do online end of lesson tests and end of topic quizzes sometimes. So you'll find these in there. And also you can see your scores for the past assignments here. And I also have this section on my Caboodle, so I'll be able to see what scores you've got so far and how you're doing, what effort you're putting in, what you're learning, what you need to improve on. So that's a really useful tool for you and me to see how we're doing, what we need to learn, and what we're not quite getting our heads around, or what we're doing. So there's a YouTube video that shows you all of the features in more detail. All you need to do is use this link and then watch it. It will take you to YouTube and it will show you all those features. Right, on with the lesson, prior learning. The last lesson we were looking at African populations, and I really enjoyed reading through the answers that you gave me, but I want to see what you can remember. So you're going to be tapping into your memory and trying not to look through last week's work. I want you to try and write at least 3 things that you can remember. You'll need to use just your memory. So don't look at that work. Don't just rewrite it, because otherwise you're not going to be remembering it properly. You're not going to be storing it in that long-term memory. So I've got some questions to help jog your memory. These questions: which European countries colonized Sudan, Angola, and Mali? Explain why European languages are the official languages in many African countries, and why might life be hard for a subsistence farmer? So these questions will help you jog your memory. Pause this slide for 5 minutes and write down what you can remember. Good luck. Right, hopefully you did quite well. Hopefully you remembered 3 things, maybe 2 things, maybe 1 thing. Maybe some of you remembered even more. But the answers to the questions that I use to jog your memory are up on the screen. So just make a few notes from what you see on the screen. Write down anything you didn't remember, or write down anything that you didn't get time to write down. So use this slide and copy what you didn't get down, just to help you remember it a bit better. So pause it and do that now. Okay, so today's question is, where is the Sahara Desert and why do so few people live there? If you've already done this question and looked at the Sahara Desert already, don't panic. This is a good opportunity for you to recap that learning that you've already done and then tackle the extension tasks towards the end of the lesson. So you need to pause this slide and get that question written down. Where is the Sahara Desert and why do so few people live there? Okay, in order to progress with this lesson, we've got a couple of key terms. So just as we would at school in the lessons, what I want you to do is copy down these key terms. So we've got sparsely populated. This means a few people live in an area. So an area of countryside could be referred to as sparsely populated because not many people live there. A terrain, the physical characteristics of land, such as, is it rocky or is it mountainous? Are there mountains and is it rocky? So we could look at the terrain of this land and say, this is a sand dune, very sandy. So pause the slide, write these key terms down. Once you've done that, press play again. Right, we've got the first set of activities. What you need to do is access the textbook through Caboodle using pages 220 to 221. Now these pages will allow you to complete activities 1 to 6. What's important to remember is that if you do not know the answers to any of the questions, then go back and read through the text again. So read through pages 220 to 221 again if you don't know any of the answers. All the answers can be found in these pages. Remember to explain them fully. You need to write in full sentences. And the lines on the worksheet are an indication of how much you should be writing, really. So make sure you write good, solid sentences, explain your answers fully. So now you can press pause again. Once you've completed these activities, you will then need to press play again. Okay, again, we've got another set of activities for you. This time you need to turn the page and you'll be going to 222 to 223. You'll then be able to complete activities 7 and 8. You'll also see on the slide that I've set an extension task, which is optional. The extension is to complete activities 9 and 10. I just want to remind you that if you do not know the answers, go back through these pages and read them again. There you'll be able to find all of the answers to the questions. Explain your answers fully. As always, write in full sentences. And the lines of the worksheet indicate how much you should be writing, remember? So, press pause again. Once you've completed the activities, you will then need to press play again. Right, now we've looked at all the information and answered these questions, we should be able to answer the lessons question in some detail. What I want you to do is go back to the question you've written at the beginning, if you've got space, and answer it. If you haven't got space, that's fine. Rewrite the question and answer it as fully as you can. So, where is the Sahara Desert and why do so few people live there? Pause this slide and write down what the answer is. Okay, I've found a really interesting documentary that tells you all about the Sahara. Now, it's actually quite an interesting area of the world. It's huge and it has a very rich history. This documentary will tell you about kings that were richer than you can ever imagine, and it will also tell you about Roman invasions as well as many other things. Now, I hope you enjoyed watching it. It's quite long, it's an hour and a half long, but don't worry, you don't have to watch it all. Just give it 5 minutes or so, see if you like it. If you do, feel free to watch it all.